Welcome to Manga Palate, everybody, the show where I, Pistis Luna, here with my co-host,
Manga Chef Isaiah.
watch and or read and talk about a thing, and let's get into that. I am actually now steaming mad. You know why? Because Manga Chef Isaiah, what did you pick for this week?
Tales of the Crypt.
From the Crypt.
Tales from the Crypt.
Tales from the Crypt. Okay, Tales from the Crypt, the TV show from 1989, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Tales from the Crypt, its first season, its first 3 episodes, it turns out to have only been 6 for the first season, started on June 10th, 1989, and it finished on my birthday of that year, June 28th, 1989, although I was going to be born for 6 more years. And the reason I say I'm steamed is because, Manga Chef Isaiah, did you know they were comics before this?
No, I did not.
Oh my fucking god. That's mind-blowing to me. Because the entire reason this show existed is because those comics were a major part of American culture. Oh my god. Yes, they caused the comics code to be created. It was like banned, and there was commissions. There were congressional hearings.
For the comics?
Yes!
Wait,
oh
why
my
were there...
fucking god! Oh my god, I'm so mad at you! I'm actually mad at myself. You know, that's what it is. I'm mad at myself. I'm mad at me for knowing this and expecting you to know this. Alright, fine. I guess let's get into the history thing before we talk about the 6 episodes of the show. Okay. Tales from the Crypt was a bi-monthly horror comic anthology where every comic was like 5 short stories. It was published by EC Comics in 1950. The first Tales from the Crypt is the first episode. Well, technically, it's a section of the first comic. And it wasn't called Tales from the Crypt at that point. It was called The Crypt of Terror. And it was only for 17, 18, and 19. So the thing is, EC Comics, which is short for Entertaining Comics, I shit you not, that's what it was called. Entertaining Comics had started publishing comics that was like International Comics. It's just like some wild shit. And like International Crime Patrol. And then just Crime Patrol. And you know, it's funny. They didn't restart the numbers. So the first Crypt of Terror is issue 17, even though it's technically the first one.
Oh, I see what the source is now. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the beginning of every episode. At the beginning of every episode, they explicitly say adapted from the comic by you son of a bitch.
No, they said the book. I thought they were just doing that to make it like... wacky.
No, they were serious.
Okay.
It's based on a comic. Okay, and this is why EC Comics is so important. Okay, so first it was the Crypt of Terror, and then the Haunt of Fear and the Vault of Horror came out around the same time, and then eventually, I want to say at issue 46, there was 27 of the original Tales from the Crypt. So the thing about Tales from the Crypt is Tales from the Crypt, or the Crypt of Terror, whatever the fuck you want to call it, was really gross. For 1950s comics that anyone could buy for 10 cents, which is $1 nowadays. So it was like you saw the first episode, right? I'll tell you, it's pretty different from the comic. It's a little more like graphic, and also, let's talk about the first episode so I can start explaining the difference between the comics. So the first episode is called "The Man Who Was Death," right?
Mm-hmm.
And it aired on June 10th. Obviously, the first 3 aired on the same time. It was directed by a really, really famous director. That's actually another thing that was really important about the show. Is directed by Walter Hill. He directed The Warriors, the movie that was a retelling of the Iliad, and it's based on a book. And also Hard Times with Charles Bronson. And the actor was William Sadler, the guy who played the fucking execution guy,
Hmm.
who would later be the or was before, because this is '89. He was the Grim Reaper in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, which is totally for me. He's done a bunch of other things, but I don't like super know him very well. So the thing is, in the show, he works as a executioner, right? And he pulls the switch to kill people. You know, when they get the electric chair, and then he loses his job, but he still decides to go do it, right? That's the whole kind of point.
Hmm.
Is that like these people, they've been acquitted of their crimes, and he goes and kills them because he says, "I lost my job, but it's still my job," right?
Yeah, so he has
That's
to
not
be the judge.
that's not what happens in the comic at all.
That happens in the comic.
He's a creepy guy who works as an executioner. People still get acquitted, but in the show, they give you, I guess what you would say is some moral justification, right? Like the first guy, who gets acquitted, the biker guy. Remember, he tells when that lady goes like, when the judge goes, "Oh, hey, there was a problem with the police report, so we can't with the warrant, so legally we have to let him go." And then the woman who is like, "Oh my God, you killed my brother." He goes, "I don't care. Your brother was a fag." And it was like, woof, 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 Jesus. So then when the executioner guy kills him, you don't feel bad. The guy was a homophobic murderer, right?
Yeah.
In the comic, they don't explain why people are let go. It just shows the judge going, "Well, the jury has decided that you're innocent." And they go, "Oh, thank God." And then the guy chases them and kills them.
No, it just seems like.
He just does it. The thing is, the show makes the implication that like he's doing this out of some weird, sick vigilante justice thing.
Yeah.
That like he's doing it because things need to be done the right way, and if anyone's gonna do it, I'm gonna do it because it was my job. Even then, they fired him from the job. He's like a dumber version of the Punisher,
Mhm.
right? But in the comic, the implication, at least from what I understood, is that he likes killing people, and that he was just using their being criminals as an excuse, and that if he had not had this job, he would have just been some random murderer.
Ah.
So that he uses them getting away, and he goes like, "Well, they got out of there. They're not gonna die, but they have to die because they did do it." It's like, well, the legal system says they're free, but like I said, there is no context. Like at least in the show, they take the way of going like, "Look, these people are bad." Like the guy who killed his wife clearly for money.
Hmm.
Like, okay, that's kind of like transparent. It's kind of obvious that he did it just for the money.
Hmm.
Whereas in the comic, it's just a judge goes to a lady talking to the defendant, who's a woman, or the accused, and just goes, "Hey, you're free to go." And she goes, "Oh, thank God." That's it. There's no like seedy underbelly or anything, and also there's no narration. So throughout the episode, the guy's kind of talking to the camera so that you can kind of understand where he's coming from. Right, he gives you these long speeches, these long sermons, moralizing and stuff like that, so you can kind of at least go, "All right, I get what you're saying. Maybe I don't necessarily agree with you."
Hmm.
But the comic is just like, "Look at this weird, creepy guy."
Oh, that make it even more creepy. 'Cause,
Yeah, he's got like a weird bulbous head, and he's bald. He's got like rat teeth. Like he looks creepy, and that's what I mean by I think the implication in the comic is he is enjoying murder vicariously through the position as an executioner. That if it weren't for the executioner job, he would have never had the opportunity to indulge in these desires he might have had for a very long time, and that now he's using the excuse of being an executioner and enacting justice to kill those people who might very well just be completely innocent. The show has more ambiguity to it.
Oh, they tried to tone it down.
I think they made it a little more like an actual story.
More like.
Yeah, the comics are really cut and dry. They're really obvious. They're really to the point. There's no like folds there. I feel that the comics, to some degree, are morality plays, like traditional horror, where it's like this person died because, no, meh, or this person killed somebody because, they were evil. Like there's nothing really going on there.
Uh,
Sort of like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which seems
yeah.
to be like a whole thing where an overt aggression and overt quote what one would call an aggressive masculinity is what gets punished because those are the people that die, and the only person who lives is the woman who's like the most removed from all of them, who doesn't indulge in vice.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean, but that's what the comics were. And what's funny about that is that these comics were everybody thought was awful. Everybody was like, these comics are brutal. There's too much horrible shit going on. It's promoting bad values. They're like parents, fucking church people, teachers, like dozens of people got together and they were like, also, this book contributes to illiteracy. And it's like, what? You have to read it still. It was like, yeah, but it's not like, you could actually just look at the pictures and not care. I'm like, I don't think that's how that works, but sure. But also, it makes kids immoral and makes them juvenile delinquents.
So
And it
it's
got,
basically video games before video
yeah,
games.
oh yeah, yeah, all this shit. This has all happened before.
Uh,
There's always been people who have wanted to moralize. Before that, it was alcohol. That's why,
yeah, they took away
yeah,
alcohol.
it's just what they've always done. And then the comics code was created, which like forcibly determined what comics could and could not do. So like a crime cannot be depicted, or if it is depicted, it has to show it as evil. They cannot use the word horror in the title. They cannot show blood. They cannot show like there was a whole period of time where that's the reason the comics we know from that period are so fucking weird. Because there was a committee of people, like the government said, if you want to publish a comic book as a big company, you have to cut that shit out. You couldn't show what they called sex perversion, which meant being gay, among other things.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that was the time, man. And then the 60s and 70s, you got underground comics, and like it all changed. Like it really did change the landscape of comic books, and that's why EC Comics specifically, along with Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, Haunt of Fear, were so important at the time. Like they went to Congress. Congress had to hear people make cases for whether or not this bad comic book rots the child mind. That's partially why I'm upset that you were not aware of the comics. But I think the other part of it is I'm just mad that like these are that like I expect people to know these things, and I know they don't. I know they don't. That's on me. That's on me.
I think America doesn't like knowing that they did something stupid.
But yeah, Tales from the Crypt is incredibly important in terms of like what it did for the way media was represented, or at least comics were specifically, because there was also the hearings about the film board that the film board also had certain sets of restrictions at the same time, because it was just it was just the way things were. They're like, you can't show sex. That's why those movies, when they try to show sex, what they do is they like show two people making out and then cut away to like a beach, and then you see the beach waves crash, which is supposed to be a metaphor for orgasms. Like it's that kind of shit. Like that's why they did it. It's because the law was like no. So yeah, Tales from the Crypt, man, it's amazing. I think that I really like the way that they redid some of these stories, because I reread the stories just to see what they were like. They're usually a little more direct, a little cheesy. And I think the show did a good job of at least adapting it to be a little more of a story.
Yeah, like I guess they didn't have the executioner like saying the governor is gonna call in the comic.
No, it was just like he's standing there, and then it'd be like the man awaits the call, knowing to it still writes shit kind of like that, but it's not like moralizing. Like they try to make you empathize with the executioner. But in the comic, they don't. They make it very clear he's a bad guy.
And I guess they didn't show the first guy saying the governor.
No, he didn't fucking no.
Yeah, they try to make it like, oh, he's just like the first guy, and he
Yeah,
got
no.
what he deserved because he was also killing
Exactly. That's what I mean by like they give you a reason to maybe go, huh? I guess that guy did deserve to be punished. It does seem weird that the system wouldn't punish him because of a technicality. But then, is murder the right answer? That's like it's like a question there. But in the comic, it's just, you're free to go, sir. All right. He shouldn't be free. I'll kill him. And that's kind of it. Shit you not, that's kind of it.
Uh,
And it happens like 2 or 3 times. And then it gets to the part where he can't kill the woman. I remember because it's like, it's late at night, and he set up a box with like electric wires in it. And he's like, all right, it's dark. She's going to start walking and going to push the box out in front of her. She's going to step in it and she's going to electrocute herself. And then, like, lightning flashes. And one of the detectives from his job was, like, around checking on him. And then the lightning flashes and he sees the guy in the box. He goes, oh, shit. And then he stops him. And he goes like, ah. And then they figure out, I was like, oh, you were going to kill that lady. Oh, okay. Well, time for you to go to jail. And then you probably kill those other people randomly through electrical shit just like that, right? And then, so they got him to confess, they got him, take him to jail, and then the last panel is of him being dragged to the electric chair going, no, please, I'm scared. I don't want to die. It's supposed to be, see, when it comes to death, everyone is afraid. I was like, oh, okay, that's not bad. Like, the show did a better job. Also, like I said, it was directed by Walter Hill, so I like a lot of the, like, direct-to-camera shots where William Sadler's like talking to you.
oh yeah, and in the background it's like the highway.
Yeah, it's like all kind of like blurred out. Like it's like out of focus because it just focuses on the executioner to like wrap you into really what he's saying.
I think they also have some weird close-ups.
Yeah.
Like the people's eyes.
Also, I forgot
killed.
this was on HBO.
It was?
Yeah. I can tell because of all the tits. Like, yo, this show don't care. Because they were not on basic cable.
Is that what they're supposed to do in HBO?
You were allowed to. That's the thing.
Oh.
You're not allowed to other places. That's why you don't see it ever. It's not a decision. It's a rule thing.
Oh. I mean,
like,
I don't think it was necessary or anything. But...
no, I just mean like the strip club bit. I was like, oh, I forgot about this. Oh, yeah, this was on HBO. They could do that. Because I'm like, it's 1989. Can you do that? I didn't know you could do that. I was like, no, wait, this wasn't on regular TV. This is on HBO. Yeah, HBO don't give a fuck. Alright, cool, yeah. That's why Game of Thrones and shit like that, and like Boardwalk Empire and The Sopranos was on HBO. Because they don't mind showing scummy shit like it is. Because they're like, if you're here, it's because you have money. Gotta have money to have HBO, dude. Gotta pay for cable.
So you're basically paying for tits.
In a sense, isn't that what people paid for Cinemax for? Because Cinemax would put on porn at like midnight or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's why people paid for Cinemax, right? I know that they paid for Cinemax to watch like fucking, like Bordello of Blood for the 80th time.
No.
I'm pretty sure that's why. I remember hearing people tell jokes like that. It's like, oh, you mean Skinemax? I was like, what? Because it shows porn. I was like, oh, okay, sure.
But now they have a separate channel.
But now the internet exists, so who cares?
And internet. No, people still pay.
Do people still pay?
Don't say who cares. People still pay for it, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
For like
you're still making
TV
money.
porn, or do you mean like
Yeah,
like
TV.
subscription services? Because I know subscription services make money. That's like why so many of those companies are like strong. They're like, hey, pay me an extra $15. See this incredibly specific porn that we shot thousands of hours of. And it's like, okay, here's my money. Here's my money. I need the weird specific thing. Like, yeah, I buy that. Or in Japan, where it's like, you could buy the digital copy of the thing. The equally super specific porn.
Yeah.
And it's like, my 15-year-old sister has now become a slutty gal, and we're alone when our parents aren't home, part 3. Like that. Like, like I believe that. I meant, like, regular ass porn. On TV. Do people still do that? I'll be honest, I don't know many people who still watch TV.
I think the older people do.
Ah, yeah, that's different, I guess. That's like when you tell someone in there who's like middle aged, like, you know, there's porn on the internet. They go, there's porn on the internet? And it's like, yeah. They're like, whoa, my life's changed. I remember that happened to fucking Eminem. Didn't I tell you about that?
Yeah, you did.
I did his Cribs episode, and he's like got that wall of DVDs. And it's like, yeah, it's my porno collection. Ha. And I'm like, oh wow, DVDs. That's pretty old school. What do you mean? I mean, it's on the internet now. Yo, word. And I was just like, oh no, he didn't know. He's doing this because he didn't know. I thought, because like if I buy a VHS, it's purely out of nostalgia because I grew up with those. It's not because I'm like I forgot that digital exists. That's funny. But yeah, man. And speaking of boobs, like there's a lot of it in this show.
Like every episode.
Well, not the next one, right? The second one with the fucking murder Santa.
No, next one.
By the way, Mary Ellen Trainor plays the lady who killed her husband, right? That's literally how the episode starts.
Yeah.
And she's married to the guy who directed that episode at the time. Guess who directed that episode? I don't know if you remember because it's there, but I don't even know if you remember what it was.
What do you mean?
The guy who directed that episode. Every episode.
Oh
was
yeah.
You remember his
Robert
name? Robert what?
Zemeckis.
Ah, close. Robert Zemeckis. That's the guy who directed Back to the Future, Romancing the Stone, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Forrest Gump, and a bunch of other shit. Like that's all. And and mind you, this is '89, so
Yeah,
he had
it's a
just
big guy.
done Back to the Future. Yeah, he was hot. He was big.
So they had money.
They had fucking money. Either that or Robert Zemeckis was a really big fan of those comics.
Wait, how are
Like-
they? So back to the history thing. How they make money if everyone was like, "This doesn't support our values"?
People still bought it.
It's just underground.
What do you mean?
Edgy
It's-
stuff. Okay.
Nah, it's literally like, yo, I want to read gross horror shit. I don't give a fuck, mom and dad. This is not a phase. Like that.
Okay.
Like, dude, I love horror shit. Like, and my family does not. They think it's like way too gross and weird. And I'm like, that's cool. I'll just watch it by myself.
It
I was
doesn't
like-
support our core values.
Oh no, Mr. Wizard! Mr. Wizard! This is not aligned with our core values. Yeah, well, fuck you then. Oh, hey, I heard that in CEO people were already talking about the melty blood bathroom again.
Yeah, of course.
That's amazing. You could never let that go, right? Just like core values.
Yeah.
It's gonna stay there.
Yep.
We're gonna have to move you guys to the bathroom. What? Why? Don't have room. But like, no, it's gonna be great. You guys like it there anyway. So yeah, also in that episode, all through the house, the Santa does not show up until the very end in the comic.
Huh.
Like, he chases her around and shit, and it's like kind of suspenseful, and I really like that. Zemeckis did a good job. So did the writer, the person who adapted it.
Mm.
They did a real good fucking job because like that that comic is like, it is. Do you know that story, The Hook? That fucking that urban myth that everybody always tells. It's like, oh, this
thing
guy's
from
driving.
like SpongeBob.
No, it's like the guy was driving in a car with his girlfriend, and they took a stop, and they hear a radio message that's like, "There's a crazy guy who's going around with a hook for a hand."
Yeah, like SpongeBob.
Nah, that was different because they were like waiting for him to show up. In The Hook, it's at the end. There was a hook on the door. Oh no.
Yeah, I think I remember. Yes, there
Yeah,
was.
I feel like everybody's heard that story at some point in their lives, for one reason or another. But yeah, so it was like that. Like that was the whole fucking thing, because it's like what happens is she kills her husband still. Like that's still the thing that happens at the beginning.
Mhm.
And she tells her daughter to go to sleep. And she was like, "Don't worry about it, sweetie. We'll be fine. Your dad's just sleeping." And I was like, "Okay, cool, whatever." And then she turns on the radio, and then the radio does the thing where it's like, "Oh fuck, there's a crazy guy who's dressed as Santa and escaped the mental hospital. It's looking really bad, folks. Everybody stay inside. It's also really snowy, so it's rough." And it's like, "Okay, sure, whatever." And then like she gets paranoid and she goes like, "Oh fuck, wait, I might have to do something." She hears like noises coming from outside. And she starts looking around. She's like, "Oh, I bet it's that crazy guy. Oh, I should call the cops. Wait, but if I call the cops, they're gonna find his body. Fuck. Shit. Okay." And she puts him in the basement. And she goes to check on her daughter. but then her daughter's not there. She goes like, "What the fuck? What? Oh my god, what happened?" And she goes downstairs, and her daughter opened the door, and there's the crazy guy in the Santa costume with an axe. He goes like, "Hey, mommy, you look, it's Santa." That's it. It just ends like that.
That was a lot shorter.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, they're all like fucking 4 pages, 5 pages.
Oh
That's
wow,
just like 6 stories in every issue.
man, they could really stretch it out. Good job.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think it's really impressive how much they changed it because this is like an actual story.
Hmm.
Like, there's a whole like ebb and flow, and there's the part where where he's not dead. Like, that's a really good jump point,
Hmm.
right? Like, there's real shit going on there. That comic is just up, and then it's basically another version of the Hook. That's why I mentioned the Hook.
The only like flaws on that one was like when she got the gun and she got herself locked in.
Oh yeah, no, but I like what that did because she has to watch him climb up.
No,
You know,
she could have. She could
she
have
could
got the
try
gun.
to shoot through the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Or shoot the door.
I don't know if
Um,
shooting the door would have worked because that could ricochet off the metal and just shoot her.
Well, she definitely could have shot him.
I shoot him through the window. I can see what you mean by that. But that's what I mean. Like, I like the horror feeling of like, oh, having to watch him climb up and knowing he can't do anything.
Hmm. Or then he doesn't even go through the ladder; he just goes through the door.
Yeah, he just goes through the door.
So since she saw him go back, oh, I guess she could have missed him. But
But yeah, also they like explain why she kills him.
her
That's
husband.
not, it's not a thing in the comic. Yeah,
Oh.
she's on the phone with the guy, and she's like, "Oh, I got him to sign over his last will and testament. I have everything we need.
Oh,
We're
that
free."
guy's name was like Dick.
I
It
don't
was
remember.
something stupid like he knows he's an asshole by his name. It was
He
like
is-
Dick something.
Yeah, douchey 50 white guy's name, like Biff. Like, oh god, he's probably a jerk.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
Yeah. Nobody named like fucking. Nobody named like Flash Thompson as a hero. That guy's probably a dick.
Yeah, it was like that.
He has a Letterman jacket and coiffed hair. He goes, "Where you going, wee boy?" Like, it's not great. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, wow, Zemeckis, good job. He won a goddamn Academy Award for Forrest Gump. So like, wow, wow, I can't believe they got Robert Zemeckis for this.
Do you think he wanted to do this one?
That's what I mean. I think maybe because those comics were such a big part of American culture in the 50s and 60s.
Oh, you think he wanted to do it?
That maybe he was like, oh fuck, I could be part of the first adaptation of Tales from the Crypt ever. That sounds kind of cool. I'm not good at horror though. It's like, no, it's okay. If Fred Drecker's gonna write it, you just gotta direct it. It's like, oh, that's a little bit easier.
Uh,
But yeah, then there's the one about the Daredevil. Like right after that.
oh, the one with the 9 lives.
Yeah. Mind if I say, so it's directed by Richard Donner.
Hmm.
Richard Donner's pretty fucking cool. He directed The Omen in 1976, like one of the first really big counterculture horror movies about the kid with the demon powers, Damien. Then he directed Superman, the first Superman in 1979 with Christopher Reeve. And they did The Goonies and Scrooged and like family shit. And so they were like, "Hey, you want to go back to doing weird shit like The Omen?" He's like, "Hell yeah, hell yeah."
So wait, did he even like doing Superman?
I don't know. I know he's like really well known for it. I know that he liked doing Lethal Weapon. Yeah, that's right. He also directed Lethal Weapon. It's like Lethal Weapon's a fun movie. Cause he produced the Lethal Weapon apart from directing it. He got nominated for a Hugo, or no, the movie got nominated for a Hugo. But yeah, Zemeckis is cool. I'm sorry, Richard Donner's cool. I do like Zemeckis because Zemeckis did Scrooged. I mean, shit. I'm kind of confused.
Richard Donner did Scrooge.
Yeah, I do like Donner because Donner did Scrooged. He also, it's funny. Tales from the Crypt had movies, like after the show. Way after the show, they got a few movies going.
Mm.
Yeah, like Demon Knight and Bordello of Blood, which I mentioned because it's a thing I saw on HBO a bunch. I was like, you want to watch Bordello of Blood? We're here. But the third one, Ritual, which is about like a fucking voodoo cult thing. That was also directed by Donner. So he stayed. When other people left, he stayed. Also, in the show, the fucking the guy comes up with the plan to do the suicide thing to get the cool tricks, right? To get the money.
Mm-hmm.
In the comic, it's the doctor. So the doctor does the surgery, and he gets up, and he goes like, "How do you know I got 9 lives?" And he shoots him. Like, that's still the same.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy goes like, "Wow, doc, I must be super lucky now." And he goes like, "No, son, we're gonna make that work for us. Every life is gonna be valuable." And then they do the fucking thing. But then at the end of it, like, the guy was more into dying than the doctor, because he was like, what if I get a life insurance policy at like 100, and then also this, and then also this, and then I do the suicide thing? And I was like, I mean, sure. And it still ends exactly the same way. But what I like about the episode is the episode does the same kind of talking to the camera that the first one does, The Man Who Was Death.
Mm-hmm.
But in Dig That Cat, it's told like backwards.
What do you mean?
Well, he starts in the coffin.
Oh yeah.
He starts in the coffin.
And
He
then
tells
you
you,
see
he's
how he
like,
gets
hey,
that way.
here's how I got here. Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes like, hey, here's how I got here. And I was like, ooh, shit. And he was like, yep, well, I'm not going anywhere, so I guess that's it. That's it. Oy. Joe Pantoliano played the Daredevil guy. He was also in The Matrix as Cypher. But I remember him as Teddy from Memento, because Memento's weird. I would like to bring up Memento again later, but that's only because the other lady did Siesta, and I'm like, I just want to talk about that. Then Leah Thompson was in the one with the prostitute. That was the next one, right?
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like, all of these people are here.
I think that
And I
was like
forgot.
my favorite one out of the.
Oh,
It's
only
like-
Sin Deep?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's interesting. What'd you like so much about it?
I liked her like Brooklyn accent. I thought that was funny.
Okay.
It seemed like the most like it could actually happen.
The voodoo curse?
I mean,
What do you mean?
like the most like message to it.
Oh, you mean
Really
it was
all of
the
them.
most overt morality play?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point. It actually straight up does the I want money, I want success. I'll sell you my looks for money and success. Oh, well, now what? Well, now what?
Shouldn't have done that.
Shouldn't have done that. I forgot Leah Thompson played the prostitute. Like, I was like, oh, wait. Shit, what are you doing here? Also, Howard Deutsch directed this. Howard Deutsch directed Pretty in Pink and Some Kind of Wonderful, which is where Leah Thompson was the lead. And, like, dozens of TV shows, like that show about the vampires in Louisiana, True Blood.
Uh,
He does a lot of shit. But, like, Pretty in Pink and Some Kind of Wonderful for a lot of people is considered, like, landmark movies of the quote-unquote Brat Pack period of the mid-'80s. But, like, Leah Thompson playing the hooker, I was like, whoa. Whoa, wait, you're here? Weren't you in, like, Red Dawn and Some Kind of Wonderful and everybody's favorite movie, Howard the Duck, where she tells herself she's gonna fuck that duck man? That was
Yes.
the thing. That was the thing. If you haven't seen Howard the Duck, watch Howard the Duck. There's a part where, like, a middle-aged duck lady masturbates in the bathroom. I am not lying. I am not lying when I say that. And that's a joke cutaway gag. Like, Howard is
Okay.
flying. Howard is flying through doors. He's like flying through walls. I forget why. I think he like got sent flying by like an explosion or something stupid. But as he's going through walls, you see like another duck person, like an older woman, I guess, like in a bathtub with her wings pushed in really down.
okay.
And she's just like, and then he flies through there. She's like, ah. And I'm like, was that Is that supposed to be like a middle-aged woman masturbating in a bathroom? Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck. You're a PG-13 movie. What is going on? What is going on? What has my life become?
This is funny.
I guess it is to somebody. Oh man. I mean, wow. Also, there was no wife in the comic book.
Oh, there's no other person.
No, it was just cause he just wanted her beauty. That's what I mean by like it's the most morality play. The comics are the most obvious about because you did a bad thing, now bad thing happened. Bah.
Oh, they made it seem like, oh, okay, he's just trying to bring back his.
Yeah, and he'll do whatever
Crazy
he can to
deadly.
get it back. And he gave her the option to come back with the money.
Yeah.
He's like, just give me, I give you 4 months. It's mostly because she was more indulgent in her wealth and shit that she like lost track of time.
And she also didn't even like the guy.
No, that's the same in the comic. She doesn't like the guy. She just likes his money.
I was like, jeez.
Yeah.
I also thought it was funny when he was like, oh, you're playing hard to get. And then she slaps him. And then she just leaves. And then it's like, oh, yeah, I knew he was going to come back.
I was amazed at the beginning where she robs the pimp, and then she walks by the other girl that goes, "Hey, you're freelance now." And she was like, "What the fuck? Did you kill a guy?" Like she wants to know what happened to the pimp, but also she's kind of happy about it. So she's like, all right, I will accept that. I will take that for what it is." And she goes to the guy and goes like, "Hey, I buy this for me." He's like, "Nah, that's hot." I'm like, "What do you mean? This is so hot." He makes a joke, which I thought was amazing. It's like, I'm surprised it's not burning a hole through my stuff with how hot it is. And I'm like, yeah, it would be kind of obvious if a lady just came in with a pile of jewelry and was like, "I will sell this to you." Like, no, you stole this.
He's not stupid.
I'm not dumb, lady. Like, you don't, nobody comes with a pile of shit, dumps it on the table, and is like covered in diamonds and goes like, "Give me money." Like, nah, you stole this. The ending is exactly the same though. Actually,
the lady
one
that she helps is like, watch where you going, old lady.
no, well, no, I mean the bit where she goes, he goes, "Do you want your face back?" And she goes like, "Not anymore, 'cause murder." He's like, "Yeah, well, bye." Like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That ends exactly the same. But one thing that is different in that comic, if at least I'm remembering this correctly. So she goes to the guy and goes like, "Hey, I'll sell you my beauty or whatever." And he's like, "Okay, cool. Here's the money. You go leave." And then she goes meets the other guy right at random.
Mm-hmm.
She just happens to meet him at a party.
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes back and ends up killing him. So in the comic, it seems like there was more of a fight about it, whereas in the show it was like he's calling the cops, "Fuck it, gonna gun him." In the comic, it's he's trying to grab at her to throw her out. So then she grabs a candlestick and just bashes his brains in. Well, no, she like hits him twice and then runs away, and then later finds out he's dead and goes, "Oh shit. I did not think I was gonna kill him with that. Yikes."
It made her seem more like, I didn't really mean to kill him.
Well, she was trying to get away. Yeah, she just wanted to get away. Like, he grabbed at her face and was like, "What the fuck are you, old lady?" And she was like, I gotta go. He was like, "No, you get back here. I gotta call the cops. Like, I know you're robbing me." And she goes, "Bang, bang. Fuck it, I'm out." And then, like, she gets to the door and the shop's closed. And then, like, she waits it out. And the next day, this kid is like, "Hey, extra, extra. Like, morning paper." And it shows her face. And it goes like, "Oh, woman killed husband and stole all just to steal his money, probably." And she goes, "Fuck, he's dead." Oh, I guess I hit him a lot harder than I thought I did. Ooh. So that's when she goes back to the voodoo shop and is like, "Hey, dude, can I get my face back?" And it's like, "Do you still want it?" It's like, "Nah, not really."
I still think it's like the worst ending.
Oh, you
like,
mean when
you just gotta live with being old?
Oh
when
yeah,
you're like 20.
yeah. No, 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 no. I mean, they're all morality plays at the end of it, right?
But I feel like that's the worst.
That's the most overt. Yeah.
No,
Or
like,
you mean the worst punishment?
yeah, the worst punishment.
I would kind of, I would say collection completed is the worst one to me.
Um,
But collection
maybe,
completed
maybe.
comes with like an excuse for him, right? So the next one is the one is my personal favorite of the group. Lover
Hack me
come
to
hack to
life.
me. Lover come hack to
I
me.
don't know why I said that.
You said hack me to life.
I
What?
was thinking of, like Evanescence.
Yeah, you're thinking of the Evanescence song, weren't
Yeah.
you? Um, it's directed by Tom Holland, and Tom Holland is a really, really good horror director. He directed Fright Night, and he wrote it. And Fright Night is like considered a cult horror classic, the original '80s one. He redirected the one in 2011, but it was nowhere near as good. I think because a lot of stuff changed in the process. He also directed the first Child's Play movie. Remember the Chucky doll?
Yeah, I remember Chucky.
Yeah, and he wrote it together with Don Mancini, and it's really fucking good. And he adapted one of the fucking books by Stephen King. Thinner, the one where the lady gets cursed and then slowly ages and falls apart and gets thinner until she like dies. Unless she can get the curse reversed, but that's a whole thing. And as a person who's like incredibly respected in the amongst horror directors and horror filmmakers, he got allowed to work on Masters of Horror. Have I told you about that show? I
Yes.
feel like I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking great, man.
The one where
Daria.
they just get a bunch of people to write. Um, was that the alphabet one?
No, that's ABCs of Death.
Oh.
Masters of Horror is where they get like really, really famous and really good horror directors, and then they go, "All right, you get an hour-long episode. Just go."
Oh yeah. It's like
Like,
ABC but longer.
yeah, it was a really, really good miniseries. Fucking Toby Hooper, the guy who directed fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre, did an episode called Dance of the Dead. Dario Argento, father of the Giallo subgenre and the Three Mothers movies, Suspiria, fucking it's Suspiria, Inferno, and The Mother of Tears. He also did Once Upon a Time in the West with Sergio Leone and George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead. There's The Phenomena, Deep Red, like yo, Dario Argento is real. Dario Argento and Takashi Miike. Takashi Miike did Imprint, the final episode of the first season. Takashi Miike, I love him so much.
Maybe
He's
we
so
should do that.
weird. He's a crazy person. Takashi Miike is insane. I love his work so much. Like Visitor Q, Ambition Without Honor, fucking Osaka Tough Guys, or also Ichi the Killer that came out like right after Visitor Q. Family, Happiness of the Katakuris, like Golzu. I could never shut up about that guy. He did the fucking Ryuga Gotoku movie. Like Takashi Miike's everywhere. So yeah, they were like, hey, you, I know you. You're amazing. You're great. I love you. Why don't you come here, Tom Holland? Why don't you come here? Come here and show us what it's all about. He did an episode called We All Scream for Ice Cream that I really, really like. Another thing that I like about Masters of Horror, I know this is a hard tangent, but trust me, this is really cool, is every episode had its own movie poster.
Huh.
Because it all was completely removed from everything else.
So it was all a movie.
It feels like a condensed movie. Fucking God, who did the Washingtonians? Was that Peter Medak? Yeah, I think that's Peter Medak, the Hungarian dude. He's done some weird shit like The Craze and Let Him Have It and stuff. It was cool. So yeah, man, like I really respect this guy's work. I love the first Child's Play movie. I love Fright Night, at least the old Fright Night. He also did fucking. He also did Cloak and Dagger. Well, he wrote Cloak and Dagger, which is a weird spy movie with fucking Dabney Coleman, of all people. Digging Up the Marrow is a horror movie directed by Adam Green that he acted in. Because it turns out, fucking Tom Holland used to be an actor first, and then he went into writing and directing.
I
Yeah,
guess that's like the easier thing to do.
he was hard on acting, and then like 84, 85, and he was just like, you know what? No, fuck it, I'm directing now.
I guess he always wanted to be a director.
Maybe that was the goal. I don't know. This is still really cool. I love the guy's work. And I feel it, like when I watched this episode, like how weirdly dreamy it's shot. It doesn't feel real for most of it. It feels
Yeah.
kind of like dour and like mysterious. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah, I was
if
like,
it-
I wonder what's gonna be like the scary thing.
yeah, right? Like it's so good. The comic is exactly the same. The comic is like almost entirely the same. The only difference is that in the episode, the boyfriend doesn't love her. In the comic, he does. That's-
Yeah, that
that's
ending was funny.
Yeah. Where he's like, I don't love you. I was ready to kill you. See, please, I don't kill
Not
me.
perfect. No.
No, I'm not great. This is not great. You don't need to save this moment. This moment sucks.
You're lying.
Yeah. And she's still walking to him. And, like, this moment sucks, please. But yeah, the thing where he sees like the ghost of the parents and all that shit, like it's all exactly the same. I think it's a really well shot. It's really interesting. It's also like, also like the lady who played the shit. What was even her name? Peggy, right?
Like, yep.
Peggy, yeah. It was played by Amanda Plummer, who I don't know if you remember her. Here's one. I know you've seen Pulp Fiction.
Mhm.
She is the lady who holds up the fucking diner in Pulp Fiction.
That's a really specific thing.
Yeah, at the beginning and at the end, where he keeps calling her Honey Bunny, and he goes like, "What is your name? What is your name? Yolanda, Yolanda.
Oh
Please
yeah.
make this easy." Like, yeah, she's Yolanda. All right, and last is collection completed, which I feel is the saddest ending. Because, like, all right, so in the comic, they're not that old. In the TV show, they're like, I want to know, in their 70s, 60s. He just
60s.
retired, right? So he's
Yeah,
in
he
his
said
60s.
65.
He's in mid 60s. Yeah, he's 65. In the comic, they're middle aged. They're like in their 40s, maybe their 50s. And that's kind of what I mean by, like, in the comic, they make him way more evil because he doesn't have a reason to break down. He just hates animals. But in the show, it's like he doesn't like animals, but he's not a monster. It's only at the end when he feels that he is no longer being recognized as another human being does he go nuts.
Yeah.
He feels that like he's losing everything to these creatures, and he's already lost his job. And he's like, "What else do I have if not my home?"
Is
What
putting
do I have?
aspirin in a brownie is really that bad? Is that enough to
No.
make you snap?
No, I mean like when he's all fucked up and he's
I
like
know.
trying to get dressed with and then the fish are there,
Yeah.
and he even said like she fed me the medicine like I was a dog.
But when I think about it, I'm like, that's not too bad.
No, I think it's compounding. Like he lost his job. He feels like he doesn't have
He retired.
anything to really do anymore. Remember, that's what he says. That's what he tells his buddy.
Yeah.
His friend is like, "Oh, I'm having fun doing some things," and he's like, "Yeah, well, I don't live my life to have fun. I live my life to do things. If you live a life of leisure, you're not really living."
Yeah.
Like that's how he feels. That's his whole life's goal, and he's lost all of that. And that's why when like at the beginning when she goes like, "What's this?" It's like the stupid golden hammer trophy. It was like, "That's 47 years of my life reduced to nothing." Like you feel like they don't have kids, right?
I've been working
They have
since I
animals.
was 17.
Yeah,
Never
they don't
took a
have
sick
kids.
day. Yeah.
They don't have kids. They have animals. So what that means is he's prioritized his job to expect that he would have a legacy from the job. Right? He figured maybe the job will pay off. Because they clearly don't have kids, otherwise they wouldn't have all those fucking animals.
Or I
I-
thought
I-
she just needed animals because she wanted somebody with her.
Yeah, how desperately do you need them? Because she has no one else.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by they don't have kids. They've been together how long? He's worked how long? And he's like, this job is gonna pay off. It's gonna give me something. And then they go like, hey man, you're old. You gotta retire. And he's like, well, I mean, I lived my entire life defined by this job. What do I do now? And it's like, I don't know. Here you go. Here we go. Thank you for your service. And this is a stupid little golden hammer statue. And it's just like, oh god. I don't have anything. I guess I'll just do stuff around the house. And then that doesn't help either because she doesn't like he goes maybe I'll feel needed by her, right? Like maybe this is where I'll like come back in. And it's not to say that she's a terrible person. She's very sweet. I think that her being so nice to the animals is proof that she's a good person. But also to me it shows a lot of loneliness.
Yeah.
Like her needing the animals is because she's had no one else for so long that she's just like doing the animals. It's like they need me. That's good enough. And now that he's back, she doesn't know how to like readjust him into her life because she's just been spending all the time with the animals. And he doesn't know how to adjust with not having a job. He's lost his sense of purpose.
He has to like cut the edges.
He has to find something. Yeah, and he doesn't even cut it properly. He just cuts it entirely.
Yeah.
Because he's frustrated and he's like, I need something to fucking do. Click, clip, 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 clip,
But the
clip,
guy
clip.
gave him the chips. I guess that was too like leisurely.
No,
for
that
him.
wasn't for him. It wasn't for him. He didn't. He said, I don't want to do it. You can't make someone have fun.
I know, but
No, I mean that's what it is. And then like it just it compounds and it compounds and it compounds with the animals and he just gets more and more frustrated till he takes it out on the animals.
fuck you, Mew Mew.
Yeah, yeah. In the comic, like that's what I mean by like at least in the show I can buy it as like he's had a psychotic break. He's just gone nuts. He's at the end of his life and he's like my life has been nothing. I don't know what to do with myself anymore. And then he blames the animals for the shit he has to put up with at home. Like I can at least understand that compared to the comic which is like what the fuck are these animals doing here? And he's like I love them.
Like
He was
they're
like,
always here.
Yeah, he's just like, what the fuck are these animals doing here? And I was like, I love them. And she goes like, well, you need a hobby. You need something to help you relax. All right? And he goes like, relax, huh? Hobby. Fine. Whatever. And she goes like, yeah, my hobby is animals. Okay. Okay, fine. Yeah, awesome. And then he goes and he starts reading books about taxidermy. Like, it shows it really up front. Like, oh, yo, he's going to kill those animals. Like he starts reading books about taxidermy and he reads it out loud to his wife like a fucking sick monster. He's like, look what this says. You bisect the mammal along the line of its spine so that you can remove it. It's just like, stop reading that to me. And it's like, yeah, well, I'm getting into it. Like that. Like that's what I mean. But like the comic, he's just straight up a monster.
All these times I try to humanize them.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. I think
You
Lover
like it when it's more humanized?
yeah, because then there's like, you know, at least something to talk about.
Yeah, it makes them not seem like
as
just any
opposed to
other monster.
He died. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not just like, oh, he was evil. Like the reason we're talking about this is because there's depth.
Yeah. I was
Right?
thinking, I was comparing it to like Twilight Zone.
Yeah. I think it's really well done because the comics are not that.
Even though they started a whole edgy teenager revolution. But,
I think that's what it is, though, that they started the edgy teenager revolution and things have gotten better since then. You know?
So edgy teenagers are right.
I mean, they can be good sometimes. A broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah.
Don't say that like that's a victory. Like, yeah, I was right at some point. In the great expanse of my life, I was correct at least 2 separate occasions. Stupid. Don't be stupid. But yeah, I really like it. I think the last 2 episodes to me are the most interesting. If only because Lover Come Hack to Me is so shot interestingly, and the ghost thing is played out really good, and that collection completed gives him a reason for killing the animals. As opposed to just being fucking animals.
But then the lady was like, nah, you're not doing that to Mew Mew.
I mean, how many animals did you already kill?
I know.
How
but
many animals did he already kill? Fuck that.
she was like, alright, fuck him.
Yeah, no, like how many animals did he already kill? Is she
Yeah,
gonna let him take
like
another one
all
in
of them.
front of her? Is she gonna let him take another one in front of her? No, no, it has to stop. What I think is crazy is that she turned him into a taxidermy puppet.
Yeah.
So then the fucking guy comes over and is like, "Hey man, where's And he was like, "Pfft, he's right here. I think he really brings the room together." And like, holy shit!
He's not still alive, is he?
No, no.
Yeah, so.
I think his body is now perched and draped like a marionette. Miserable, empty, hollow. That's what his life is now. That's what I mean.
Uh,
To me, that's a lot darker of a thing. It's like you are an object. You hold
Right.
enough value as it is to belong within the context of your placement in life. That's dark. That makes me ask a lot of questions about my life, and I don't like that. Or I do like it. That's why it's great. Wait, this is trippy, man. What makes me feel bad about this is that like this is shot all right. I think it's fun. I think it's shot in a way that like really makes it cartoony, right? A lot of the lighting is very like it seems very artificial,
hmm
and I think that's cool because it makes it clear that it is just a story. It makes it feel even more like a story, sort of like fucking Little Shop of Horrors with a giant plant. Like the way it's shot makes it feel unrealistic and out of place, and I think that's cool because everything's always like at a wide angle,
hmm
right?
Quick zooming.
And yeah, like I like that. It feels cartoony, which is why the ending, despite being equally cartoony, is still gives me a moment of pause, and I like that. And it was directed by Mary Lambert, who mostly did music videos, but then she did Pet Cemetery, which is a Stephen King book. She did the first one and the second one, but it makes me sad because her career's fucking like, oh, it's bad. She's not in a great place.
What do you mean?
Well, so she did Pet Cemetery, and then she did Pet Cemetery 2, and then she did Drag Strip Girl, which is kind of fun. It was based on an attempt to revive driving classic speed movies from the 50s. Drag Strip Girl was one of the Rebel Highway things. And then she did a TV movie called Face the Evil. And she did another TV movie called My Stepson, My Lover. And then she did a TV documentary about the Prince of Egypt. And she did a musical called Clubland that nobody liked. And it just kept getting bad and bad and bad and bad, man.
Oh, she just kept trying to do things people would like.
No, I mean, like, I don't think she's getting work. Or at least she's getting shitty work that no one cares about.
Uh,
Like, here's one of the things that she did. Mega Python versus Gatoroid
oh no.
by The Asylum. Yeah. Yeah. With Debbie Gibson, I guess. That's cool. I feel sad for her. I feel like she could have had her job could have gone in a different direction. I feel like maybe if she had done more music videos, it would have gone differently. I don't know. She did like music videos for like Motley Crue, Queensryche, Debbie Harry, Tom Tom Club, The Go-Go's, Annie Lennox, Whitney Houston. Like she had real work. She did a lot of Madonna's early work, Borderline, Like a Virgin, Material Girl, Like a Prayer.
hmm
Also, one of the first movie I think she ever did, at least I'm pretty sure, is Siesta with Ellen Barkin and Jodie Foster, which is like a fucking weird, crazy movie. It's not necessarily good, but it's not bad either. It's just weird. It feels like an art experiment movie that is attempting to be Blue Velvet, but it's not David Lynch. But it's as weird as Lynch. Like it's trippy. It's trippy. And you know what? Fucking Miles Davis, one of the most amazing jazz musicians and recognized artists of all time, wrote the music for that movie.
Oh.
Like, that movie's crazy. I like it. I think art house movies aren't always necessarily good, but they're always like an experience.
hmm
I think that's like sometimes a much more valuable for art. But yeah, that's not like, oh, Mary Lambert. Oh, you did some really cool shit. Oh, you did some really cool shit. Oh no, what happened? Oh no, what happened? Oh no! Oh no! Mega Python versus Gatoroid. Oh no!
No.
Bad. It's bad. It's a bad time. Ugh.
So I guess she's
Yeah.
not gonna.
I don't think she's coming back.
No.
Not from Mega Python versus Gatoroid.
I guess like we were saying like outside the show. I think she started doing it for money. To me,
Eh,
at least. It seems like.
maybe. I don't know. I just doesn't look great. I find that sometimes people just don't like they'll take a job because they'll be like, oh, I guess I can't need it, but then it puts them in a hole where they can't get out of.
Hmm.
So it's like I'll get to do this and this and this and that's awesome. That's cool. I'll try this. Whoop. Well, I guess my career's dead now, because this is the only kind of work they're gonna give me.
I mean, you can always leave if you don't like it.
I mean, but then you'll get nothing.
That's not true.
No, that's what I mean. Like after you lose, I guess not popularity, but you lose critical acclaim. Like that's it. Unless you have two options. Either A, critics love you, or B, you make a lot of money. If you have neither of those for a streak, your career's dead. You need one. Like yeah, critics hate Michael Bay, but he makes a lot of money. Yeah, people don't really watch David Lynch's shit, but he's people love him. That's what I mean.
uh,
Like you need one of those two things. And she lost that the second she started doing like TV movies. And that's why I'm like, "Ooh, I think her career's dead." Like I read the list of shit and I was like, "Oh no, this is bad. This is bad. Oh, this is bad." All right, well, time for food. We went through each episode, which we usually don't do for like manga and shit like that, because it's like, it's all one consecutive
but
story.
there's all like stuff to
That's
talk
it.
about.
But because they're all anthological, every single thing is like, ooh, let's talk about this, let's talk about this and this and this. That like I feel like it's the first time we've needed to actually do that.
Yeah.
All right, man. Food.
So we're not doing each one, right?
Okay. No, this collective idea, just like Twilight Zone.
All right.
I would say there's meat, but it's not like a steak.
Nah, there's points where it makes it, like I said before, you know it's a story.
Yeah. Where you're like, oh, I get it. This is gonna end with some
There's
spooky.
something there though, but not too deep.
Yeah, there's something to talk about, but not a lot. Question: Have
Mhm.
we ever done shish kebabs?
We brought it up before.
Yeah, but have we ever chosen a shish kebab?
I think so.
Could you do me a favor and
I
check?
Look up. Okay.
Yeah. Because if we have it, I feel that's a pretty appropriate way to describe it.
What's No, it's a German thing.
Oh, Kaiserschmarren?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a cake.
I don't think we did it.
We've mentioned it. I know we've talked about it. But
Yeah,
I don't think
we
we've
actually
ever
picked it.
actually chosen. Yeah. I think a shish kebab might be a good example because it's like, it's a kind of meat, right? But it's always like smaller amounts of meats on a stick because you can kind of eat it as you go along.
Hmm.
And also because there's so little of it, it's kind of pick up and go. Like every episode can be its own thing, but it individually, you're not going to get like hours of conversation. You need the whole show to really go through it, to compare and contrast different things and talk about the comics as compared to the show and all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
So there's something to talk about, but not as much as you would have expected. Not like the Twilight Zone.
And it kind of like passes you by.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
you just
over
have to,
really
like,
quick.
Once, or
It's
like
over
in
really quick.
a music
Every
park or
episode's like
something.
20 minutes. No, I get you. Yeah.
Or you just watch for like Halloween or something on TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, oh, that was interesting.
Well, that's kind of what we're doing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's October. It's I don't know, spooky palette. What the fuck would I even say about? I don't know. I think
I like
it.
Suki palette.
No, please don't. If the description of this is haha spooky palette, I will hate you. I hate you so much.
Um,
But yeah, you know what I mean. Like, everybody does their own spooky shit. This is just us going like, hey, October, we love horror things. Let's talk about them.
Scary palette.
Scary. Is that even?
Horror palette. There we go.
Hmm. I kind of like that a little more. But can we turn it into something even further? Like, can we not do this on the show?
Okay, yeah, we're wasting time.
We could talk about this some other time. We both have shit to do today. Anyway, um, so I was gonna say, hey, how about shut the fuck up?
Shut the fuck up.
It's time for the news. What is the thing you would like to tell me about?
Um, Fuck, I didn't look up news.
Look up a single thing.
I think there's something.
That's a strange sentence.
No, I'm trying to look for something.
I would like to say one thing that is technically news related. There has been an increase in visual novels over the last few years, at least here in the States. And I'm really interested to see if that's where the industry is starting to go. I understand why from like the indie perspective it is a lot easier to do than to like say a fighting game or say like a more detailed RPG, right? Like an RTS game. Like with the visual novel, it's almost always emphasizes the writing as opposed to any actual gameplay characteristics or loops. So it would be a lot easier for a few people to do that than it would be to say, I don't know, make something like Diablo, right?
Yeah, it's way easier.
Yeah,
Just
and
needs writing.
I'm kind of excited to see if that's where like the industry's if only because we're both big fans of visual novels when they're made well, as is incredibly obvious by the collective 8 hours we've talked about fucking Danganronpa. I guess I could talk about a thing that I care about. I don't know if anybody knows this. Do you know the band Cream?
Yeah.
There is seven.
Yeah, you showed me them before.
Yeah, their drummer just passed away.
No.
Yeah, Ginger Baker. He's like really really well known. He had a like jazz background, but he was also really into African rhythmic structures. Like from the Congo, which are like 9/8 and 6/8 and stuff like that. It's really cool. And just passed away. It's a shame.
How'd he die?
I'm pretty sure it was just age, because they say he passed away peacefully.
Oh.
So, which I think is really nice, because that usually doesn't happen. Most of the time when you hear about people, it's like, oh, he died of cancer, or he died of this, or he died. No, he just went to sleep. Yeah, he's 80, so it's not surprising. But it is still kind of a bummer. If only because I like growing up, I listened to a lot of stuff because that's what my dad was into. My dad really loved like classic rock and stuff like that, so I would like hear a lot of it, like Led Zeppelin, Cream, Eric Clapton solo projects. It's cool. I really liked Disraeli Gears. It's the album, but at least he went out peacefully, unlike so many other people in that line of work. I have a thing I'm hype about though. Yeah, hype. Come on, be excited.
Okay. Yeah.
Are you asleep?
No.
I know it's early for you.
No, I think someone already had a copy of Invisible.
Okay.
I'm like watching it. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh god damn it! I said. just for a few minutes, pay attention.
Okay.
We're almost done.
I turned it off.
I know. I have to shower and go, so I'm also anticipating the end of this. But I am really, really excited about something. So I have a question for you. Do you have something you're hype about?
Indivisible.
Okay.
2 days.
Yeah, I know.
Anything I want to say? The characters.
Yeah, anything you want to say?
Oh, I could show you a picture because once we do that.
Okay.
Well,
yeah,
look at
we're on
this.
Skype. We take advantage of the internet.
Yeah, this is it. Okay. How do I
I
show it?
still remember showing you the picture of the fucking God. What do you call it in English? Sero.
I think it's sent.
Sero.
0.
Yeah. I showed you a picture of a Sero. Whoa! Who drew that? That looks
Probably
awesome.
Alex.
Neat. Cool. Anyway,
That's
yeah.
what they're doing for their promos of each day. It's like
They're just
5,
sending out a
4.
picture. Is it on Twitter?
It's on Facebook.
It's on
Probably
Facebook.
Twitter too.
I mean, I don't know. I find that a lot of games companies have Twitters.
Yeah.
They're like always putting shit like, hey, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this.
All the social media.
All the social medias. We don't have any of that.
We got YouTube.
Yeah, that's it.
Subscribe to us on YouTube.
I imagine if you're listening to this, I'd actually be amazed to find out that we're having people genuinely listen to this and not subscribe. Cause like, who?
Someone just on the fence for like 60 episodes.
Yeah, someone who's been here since like episode 5 and is like, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, that's cool. I've never heard of that before. Should I subscribe? Nah, I don't know. I don't know. That's a weird stance to take. All right, anyway, my thing. Okay, I've been reading this manga for a very long time, and it just got an announcement that's gonna get an anime adaptation. So check this out. Murenase Seton Gakuen.
What does that mean?
Well, it's sort of like going on ahead to animal school, I guess, or
Alright.
species school. I'm not sure.
I'm thinking Beastars. But...
No, it's dumber than that. Because Beastars, they're all like humanoid animals, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're like more humanoid than not, right?
So like 80.
They're still animals. Yeah, I would say
human.
it's like. No, I would say it's like 70% human, 30% animal,
Okay.
right? Because they still have animal features and animal traits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Murenase Seton Gakuen is not that. It is not that at all. It should be Shiton because of the way I see it spelled. When I see it written, Shiton Gaku, yeah. Shitonko Gakuen. Yeah. Anyway, ignoring semantics. I really love this manga. It's a gag manga, but it's also sort of a romance manga. So, here's the thing. Animal people. Now, I don't mean people who are mostly animal, and I don't mean like monsters, like in Malmusu. I mean, this is a girl. She has dog ears and a dog tail and acts like a dog. That's it. This is a boy. That is just a wolf.
So 100%.
Yes. Sometimes they'll stand on their back legs. Some of them stand on their legs. But the men are just animals. The girls are just girls with animal features.
Okay, so wolf 100%, girls like 90%.
Like 98% human.
Oh, so they just have like a little tail. That's it.
That's what I said. Like
Oh.
ears and a tail. And that's it.
I thought there was like.
No.
No. Okay.
No.
You said what you meant. Okay.
I will show you a picture from the first chapter right now so that you can really see what I'm talking about. You can see the girls and then compare them to the males.
Wolf. And okay. And that one guy's just like, I hate all this.
Yes. Okay, so that's what the manga's about?
Mm-hmm.
The manga is about a guy who hates animals with every fiber of his being.
Why is
He
it that
hates
cool?
animals. It is a regional thing. He lived nearby. They sent him there.
The giraffes are like hanging out like, yo, bro.
Yeah, they're
We're
just
both
giraffes. Yeah, like, what's up, brah? They're like, they act like, teenagers. So, that doesn't change. But, animals.
Okay, this is dumb. But yeah.
Yes, it is dumb as fuck. Alright, so check this out. Guy hates animals. Hates them with every fiber of his being. He's like, humans have evolved, humans have technology, humans are supposed to subjugate animals, animals use a bitch, you don't know what you about. Like, he knows everything about animals. everything you could ever possibly know because he has to know how and when he can take them down if he needs to. Fuck animals. Fuck animals. Fuck them. I cannot repeat that enough. That is everything he ever does. Alright. He is a human male. His name is basically, human.
Wow, that's okay.
His name is Hinojin. Because the way you would write person is Jin.
Okay.
So yeah. And otoko no hito is a way to say male. He has a crush on a girl. She's the only other human. Her name is Hitomi. Her name also sort of sounds like Hitono. Yeah. So like her name kind of sounds like human. She has a hair clip that is the symbol of Venus, which everybody here recognizes as the symbol for woman. And the circle with the line and the stick. Yeah. That's her hair clip. It goes to this school. He's like, I love that girl. We're both humans. He's cute. I love her. It's great.
She's not a fucking animal.
She's not a fucking animal. I cannot understate how much he hates animals. He hates them with every fiber of his being. One time he sits near this girl, tiny girl. He's like, oh, she a dog? Didn't even fucking notice. Don't care. Don't give a fuck. Eating. She looks and like it does the thing that Kengan also done Kindling Bites do that explains animal behavior because they act like animals.
Okay.
So it'll be like, it is extremely dangerous to carelessly draw near an animal in the middle of its meal, especially with carnivorous animals, as they will feel that their prey is at risk of being stolen. And it shows the tiny goat go like, "Grr." And it's like, at which point they will move to fiercely threaten their opponent, and just goes like, don't care, bye. Just sits there, chills out. He sees that she's being mad annoying. He takes his giant cooked steak and he goes, here, you want this? She eats it. And now she's like, now we're best friends. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And they have a cutaway explaining how, like, if you feed an animal, they become your best friend.
Exactly. Give them food, they become attached to you at once.
It is just like hanging out there.
It is, yeah. And then the little girl's like, hey, you know what? I love you. We're best friends now. It's like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Why is this happening? And I go, she's an Arctic wolf. And they explain her Arctic wolf background, how she wants to create equality for humans and whatever. And then she goes like, man, when I was a kid, there's this kid who like showed up and helped me out, and like he was so cool. And I always want to be friends with humans. And then he goes, you know what? That was me. I remember that. That's when those bears kicked the shit out of me, and ever since then I've hated animals. And then that fucking retard dog kept looking me when I told her to stop, and I was like, they don't understand humans. I understand now. I have to be strong so I can destroy them if I need to. Yep.
So.
Yep.
That's been updating.
Yep. Oh, it's been going on for like forever. He has like anti-animal sprays and stuff. Like there's a part where like I think it's the same first chapter where like a rabbit girl is about to get like eaten, which I think is not a metaphor for rape, but it sure does look rapey when they grab her and lick her and stuff. But he has bear mace, so he just maces the bears. The bear's like, oh, you think you're fucking cool? You think you're great? And like, bear mace. Don't care. Bear mace. But then the bears piss off because like their teacher, who is a Tyrannosaurus Rex, shows up. They got get the fuck out of here. And they're like, well, we gotta go. So yeah,
something about an image of a teacher being Tyrannosaurus Rex. Just
yes, giant Tyrannosaurus Rex. Like no, like regular ass Tyrannosaurus Rex.
It just makes me giggle. Like,
he wears a t-shirt and some pants, and I don't know how he puts on the t-shirt or the pants because he has tiny arms. But you know, he does it. I guess because it is modern time. It is modern time. So yeah, then like he becomes then like a panda joins because the panda's like, oh, I'm the most popular animal ever, but I love pandas, and it's like, I'm gonna fuck about pandas. I'm gonna fuck about animals. It's like, yeah, but she's basically just a cute girl. It's like, I know a fucking filthy animal when I see them. I think my favorite one is the zebra girl, because at first the zebra girl is like the biggest dick swinging his G out of everybody. Because like she's the most popular of the horses,
Hmm.
They're like, well, like she's an exotic horse. And then at the end, like the whole thing with the zebra girl's a huge bitch, and like she keeps trying to show up to him too. Is like, yeah, who you think you are? What do you think this is? He goes like, shut the fuck up, annoying ass donkey. And he's like, what did you just call me? It's like you're a donkey. Like what? That doesn't make sense. And then he goes into an explanation about like the etymology of animals, and he's like, all right, look, here are the features of a horse, right? Okay, so the Equidae is the family, and then the Equus is the genus, and then you separate the definitions, right? Well, actually, zebras are more related to donkeys than they are to horses. Horses have bushy tails and small ears and long legs, whereas zebras have stumpy legs, brushy tails at the tip, and big ears and a really wide face. Yeah. So, and then like she goes like, "What the fuck you think you are?" And he picks up her skirt, which seems like it's gonna be like, look at her underwear or whatever. No, he just yanks on her tail
Oh.
and it shows her underwear. And everybody's like, look at this tail. See this? This is donkey tail. And everyone's like, oh shit, it does look like a donkey tail. Oh fuck! And then she loses her social status immediately. And just hates him with every fiber of her being. But then she becomes good friends with the donkeys, who are dirty otaku. So yeah,
Some morality there, but yeah.
yeah. The donkeys are losers. Everybody hates
This
them.
guy really
They're
doesn't
all
give a shit.
don't give a fuck about animals. Don't give a fuck about animals. There are 80 chapters, 85 chapters out right now. He has a bat friend and a sloth friend, and well, I wouldn't call them friends. They hang out with him. He doesn't like them. Uh, he meets her sister. He meets the wolf girl's sister. He may have a chance at flirting with the human girl. She seems to kind of like him now. Also, most of the girls in the club like him, and he's like, "I hate you, you fucking animals." Uh, so you know, and it's getting an anime.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. Kenjiro Suda, who is a fucking voice actor, did the bumper, which just shows a bear. It just shows a regular bear, like footage of a real ass bear. While he does like voiceover for the bear, and I think it's fucking hysterical. It's
That's
like, hey, I'm Boo the bear. What's up? What's up? So I want to tell you about this anime that's coming out. And yeah.
you can see like a bear walking through the
Oh, it's just a
forest.
fucking bear, dude. It's a bear hanging out, and at the beginning it starts with him doing a laugh, but where he says the word bear, and I don't need the Japanese word for bear, kuma. I mean he says bear ha ha, bear ha ha, and I was like, what the fuck am I looking at? Wait, this is an announcement for. Wait, what? What? It's like, yep. And yep, so apparently what they're going to do is they're going to have all the guys be voiced by Kenjiro Suda. So that's going to be interesting. I kind of want to see what it's like when like the donkeys are talking to each other and then it's just him talking to himself. That happens sometimes. You get like multiple voice actors, multiple characters.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's fucking.
It's gonna be dumb. So it's gonna be.
It better be dumb. I'm going to be mad if it's not dumb. That manga's dumb as fuck. You saw that picture.
Yeah, I saw the giraffes hanging out with bro.
Yeah. Yeah, you see that deer, that super muscly deer?
Yeah.
He's like flexing for the female deer that just look like girls with deer ears.
I don't know
Saw
what
that-
the guy turns to a ball. I forgot what it's called.
Say what?
The guy below there, they turn into balls.
Oh, the armadillo?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot. I don't know what he's doing.
He's laughing at a joke that his elephant friend told him.
Uh,
Hippo, he's tired. He's yawning. Oh man, I can't wait till they do the hyena. I love the hyena. Do you know how hyenas work? Like their social structure?
are they like dolphins?
Nah,
Like athletes?
nah.
No.
Female hyenas are in charge. They're big, they're tough, they're mean. Male hyenas are very small. Female hyenas, for a long time, people had difficulty differentiating between male and female hyenas because this is not a joke. Females hyenas have clitorises that are so big they look like dicks.
Does it come up?
I mean, yeah, it comes up because the female hyena is dressed like a dude. Is like, yeah, I'm a dude. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. And then she's in love with the human girl, and then makes a point of going like, hey, you, fuck you, I know I'm a dude. And then like the guy goes like, no, you're a female. I know you are. Female hyenas are just like dudes. And she goes, nah, I got a dick, and she's like about to pull it out. And then it explains in a text box, female hyenas. I already knew that because like I love watching nature shit.
Mhm.
So like yeah, I knew that. That's like big tough female hyena, sad wimpy tiny guy hyena. The females eat first. They catch and murder the shit out of things, eat a large amount, and then go, all right, here, this is what you get. And the male hyena just like sadly limps in. It also comes up in Killing Bites in the part of the second battle royale or destroyale or whatever the fuck they call it.
Oh, they explain it too.
Yeah, because you're a rapist female hyena thing.
I thought you
I
said
think.
they changed.
No, I said I think there's one, but that's kind of it.
Oh,
That was the one.
oh.
Because that's like at the beginning of the destroyale, and then again she gets beat and nobody cares anymore. Now we're more about like whether or not Pure is crazy.
Because of the ghost dog.
The ghost dog that might not even be a ghost. I say, it's not. It might not necessarily be a ghost.
I don't think we're ever gonna let that down.
I'm. I mean, why? Why would I let it go? The ghost dog was a lie. That's not a sentence I should be able to say. The ghost of a dead dog was actually a lie, or maybe it wasn't. The manga hasn't finished explaining yet. So there. Anyway, yeah, I'm really happy about Manasan Shitongaku. I want it to take off. I want to see what it's like when the fucking when the lion is like, "I'll fuck you up," and then like the hyena goes like, "Yo, let's fight, bro." And then after he explains, "That's a girl," he goes, "I've been fighting a girl. I've been getting fucked up by a girl. My life is forfeit. My life is forfeit. I don't know what I'm doing in my life anymore. God damn it. God damn it. God damn it." And also the female lions just look like girls.
Of
Girls with
course.
tiny ears and tails. You know, like lion ears are kind of small. So, yep. Murenase Shitongaku. I am really excited. I'm gonna send you this trailer for the anime. That's just the bear, because I think you'll get a laugh out of it even if you don't know what he's saying.
Oh.
And with that, that's the end of the manga palette. So if you're still here, you guys got it.
Yeah, you guys got it.
Yeah, yeah. Spooky palette or whatever. Bye.
Horror Palate.
Yeah, whatever. Bye.